He's Australia's most famous Kiwi deportee, and although Shane Martin won a court case to return to his family, he's still not been allowed back across the ditch to his family. Shane was sent here due to links with the Rebels Motorcycle Club, something the Australian government referred to as bad character. Now he's telling his side of the story in a new book written by Jared Gilbert, and they both join me now. Morena.
Morena.
So can you just tell us the story? You were deported 2 years ago. What has the last 2 years been like? 3 years ago. What have they been like?
Oh, it's been hard, but I'm adjusting now, so finding New Zealand quite beautiful, actually.
Oh, well, that's good. So you don't want to stay then?
Oh, thinking about it, seriously, but yeah, but I still want to fight for my right to have my freedom with my kids and my family, more or less.
Well, you're saying fight for your right. You actually have fought for your right to go back, and yet you still can't. Can you just sort of talk us through how that works?
Yeah, well, I actually won my case, but it's like winning the fight but not getting the trophy, you know what I mean? But it's because of one specific person, I think. Oh, I don't know what you call him, but I think you call him Peter Dutton. But
oh, we do call him that, yes.
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
Yeah.
And so he said no.
Well, yeah, he's still, because he's the immigrations minister, he has the right to refusal.
I mean, this is his right to refusal, as you say. Jared, why did you want to pick up this story?
It's an incredible story, really. I mean, there's so much in it, I think, for people. There's a very famous son, footballer son. There's another son who fought in Afghanistan. There's inside the bikies, the rebels, of course. So there's a fair bit for people to be interested in. But the case fundamentally is about injustice, that what's happened to Shane is utterly abominable in a Western democratic society. The way the government has treated him is utterly incredible, and I think it's somewhat shameful that New Zealanders aren't being more vocal about that. If we want to show a leadership role in the Pacific, we oughtn't be allowing the most powerful nation in the Pacific to act in the ways that it is. Remembering, of course, that Anzac soldiers, Australian and New Zealand soldiers, fought for the principles, fought for the freedoms that we enjoy, and to use secret evidence against a human being is an abomination before the law.
What sort of secret evidence are you talking
Well, this
about?
is it. Well, this is the thing. How do you defend yourself?
Secret evidence, and that got squashed as well. You know.
So the court case was won. The courts and the highest courts in Australia said you can't use secret evidence against a person. Why? Because how can you defend yourself if you don't know what you're being charged with? But what happened when the courts ruled in Shane's favour? The government, or Peter Dutton, changed the law and said we don't give a damn what the courts say. We'll do what we please anyway. Shocking.
Shane, your son, Dustin, is one of the most famous AFL stars in Australia. You're saying that you have been unfairly targeted because of him. Why is that?
Oh, I can't, I'm trying to work that out myself, to be honest. I think they're trying to make a statement. We don't care who you are or who your son is or how famous you are, you know what I mean? But to me, I don't understand why they just didn't give us a warning first. Instead, after 30 years of living there, just bang on the door at 6 in the morning and you're gone. You know what I mean?
They've deported you because of bad character. Yeah. Would you say that you've got a good character?
Yeah, I am. But define what's a bad character. More to the point, I reckon. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe you were involved with the Rebels Motorcycle Gang, which has been involved in some criminal activities.
Yeah. That's the individual person, though. This is what annoys me about people blaming gangs for this and stuff. It's the individual person that makes the mistake, not the club. Do you know what I mean?
So the Rebel Motorcycle Gang is not a criminal organised crime outfit?
Well, to me it's not. Do you know what I mean? To a lot of people it is, but
the thing is, the important thing is, it's not illegal to be in that club. If that was an illegal offence to be in a club, then perhaps we can understand it. But if you're not breaking the law and you belong to an organisation which isn't illegal, then that's not an issue. And anyone, I think, I did write another book, Hayley, on Patched, and where I talked about the clubs, and people do act in ways in the clubs that break the law quite clearly. But you can exist in those groups and live by the law. You're just potentially a bit rebellious, but that's not illegal as well.
It's called Rebel. Why did you want to join this club?
Oh, it's like brotherhood, you know, like family to me, to be honest. You know, some of them, I loved it. It was a good life, but sometimes you just grow up and get over it. But if I was still single, I'd still probably be there, you know what I mean?
So you've sort of grown up and got over it, and now you're being punished for decisions you made in the past. How unfair is that?
Oh, it's ridiculous, to be honest. If you've done anything wrong now, that's when you should be punished. Not my crimes are like 12, even longer, 15 years ago.
How long has it been since you've seen your kids?
About a month now. Yeah, it's pretty hard, but what do you do about it?
Oh, well, I'd like to say I hope you succeed. We obviously want you to love New Zealand too, because we're an open and accepting country. Thank you very much for being on our couch. That's Shane Martin and Jared Gilbert.